Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Married to Sports. With me, as always, I have Rodney, the facilitator, and Corey, the old man. How you guys doing this morning?
We're doing good. How about you?
Yep.
I'm doing all right. Woke up this morning feeling pretty good. Got my Bible study done. Got my meditation in. Ready for today. Ready for today.
I'm doing better than the Arizona Cardinals, that's for sure.
Boy,
Hey,
you ain't lying.
you know, but the sad part is it shouldn't even have came down to that last thing. Again, what happens? A kicker misses a field goal.
Well, I mean,
So
you can put it on the kicker, but Marvin Harrison created a turnover because he couldn't catch the ball. I mean,
oh yeah.
there was a lot of things that went on in that game. I mean, the Cardinals didn't even really start turning it on until the second half, and by then it was
Well,
too little, too late. I mean,
yeah.
you've got to play all four quarters.
Yeah.
You got to play at all three levels.
Well, they need to. They're so much trying to get Kyler Murray going and Marvin Harrison. They abandoned their run last night for sure. It was because when I looked, at halftime, Benson only had 4 carries, but he was averaging 5.8 yards a carry. What what are we thinking here when we're calling plays?
And
Yeah,
you know what?
my question all night last night. You can ask Bert when we were watching the
I
game.
don't understand it.
The
Yeah.
play calling was
And
ferocious.
and to your point, Benson was able, granted there were some
Whoa.
runs
Okay.
that were very stalemate-ish, but he was still gashing that way when he could get to the outside. He looked really good last night.
I just don't understand the Cardinals system at all, I guess. Because, Kyler Murray, besides his rookie year, has not looked good. I mean, he's just like he's he looks lost, and then you got Marvin Harrison Jr. that looked like a deer last night. He didn't know, I don't understand it.
I don't either. But then again, you know me, I'm a stats guy, right? Here's one stat that did stand out to me last night within the game, and we touched on it a little bit on the lives, but I want to really take a deep dive into this. Gannon, the head coach, was 4-18 when trailing at halftime. How do you still have a job?
I mean, he was one of the coaches I had on the hot seat going into the season. I mean, his seat's got to be getting hotter.
Yeah. And it just, he's supposed to be a defensive coach. I mean, their defense looks decent. I mean, it's bad when Calais Campbell at 38, 39 years old, you know, is leading your line. But, you know, you got to have some kind of offense. I mean, Trey McBride cannot just be everything. And like I said, you had Trey Benson, running for 5.8 yards a carry, but you don't give him any touches. It's like, you keep putting it in the hands of Harrison, who, what at one point he looked like, what was it? He had one reception out of 5 passes thrown to him. I don't know what he ended the game at, but everybody's going to highlight his touchdown pass. Okay, he caught a touchdown, but he also gave up at least one turnover.
Yeah, we were looking at Marvin Harrison last night, and
We were not impressed to the fourth quarter.
he's not his dad for sure.
No,
And, I mean, I hate to do that to the kid, but when you're drafted that high and you carry that name, we expect you to look a little
Fall out.
like your dad than what
well,
looking like. That last night was crazy. Not getting off his route,
you know,
stopping halfway
yeah,
through his route, um, getting to the top and just kind of getting lazy, and
yep,
not getting off the coverage, dropping passes, not catching them the first time. There was a lot that Marvin Harrison did last night that I really didn't like. Now he turned it on in the fourth quarter, and they all kind of did. But if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you cannot be waiting that late in the game to start saying, "Hey, we're going to play now."
Yeah.
They didn't deserve to win last night. The Seahawks won. The Seahawks actually deserved to win last night. I don't even know who I picked. I don't even remember who I picked.
The sad part is I honestly say that Marvin Harrison got drafted as high as he did because his last year at Ohio State, teams were so busy double covering Abuke that it left him in single coverage. And we're seeing as he's gotten in the pros, he's just trying to go off his talent. He's not running crisp routes. He's not got his hands are almost like Featherstone on that one movie. It's just, we talk about the talent, has all the talent in the world, but he's just not putting it all together.
Yeah.
I ended up taking Seattle for the plus 1.5,
Yeah,
and I got the win.
Yeah, I took him. I took him on the spread and head up. But last night, for some reason, when we got into the game, I switched up. I was rooting for the Cardinals last night, and they just were disappointing as all get out. I was hoping for an offensive battle, like an offensive. I wanted to see a shootout. I wanted to see a shootout between the two. I wanted to see Kyler Murray and Sam Darnold shoot it out.
Yeah.
I knew the defenses were going to be better than that, but I didn't think that it wasn't possible. I felt like Sam Darnold left too much on the table. I felt like Kyler Murray left too much on the table. I feel like receivers on both ends. Jackson Smith didn't get involved until later. Kenneth Walker was having a really good night. I think he ended up fumbling or something. Something happened with him later on in the game, but it was not. That's not how I saw it going down.
What?
Yes.
Let me ask
Seattle's run game was good.
Let me ask you this: what defense were you more impressed with last night, Seattle's or Arizona's?
For the majority of the game, I was really impressed with Seattle's. For the majority of it.
Until that fourth quarter.
Yeah, that fourth quarter was atrocious.
I
But honestly, there was a lot that was going on with the Cardinals' offense that wasn't necessarily the defense forcing the ball. It was bad offense.
Yeah.
I wish I could say it was great defensive play, but it wasn't. It was the Cardinals shooting themselves in the foot.
Especially that Harrison bobble.
Yeah.
I know Kyler Murray threw two interceptions, but I know for sure that he should have only had one, because that one that went to Harrison was, that should never have been an interception.
I mean, that ball could have got him unalive, though. I mean, that was a pretty get hit, so you might as well catch it.
Yeah. And that we're seeing that a lot with the younger receivers, what they get in those gator hands, the alligator hands, where they're pulling their arms back in because, they're going to get hit and stuff. And it's like, unfortunately, that's what you get paid to do, is to come over the middle. The highest paid players, receivers, aren't afraid to go across that middle.
No, you're right, and we've seen it for years. I mean, look at how many times, like Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison Sr. and help me out with some names here.
I think of Jerry Rice.
Bruce, Torrey
Jerry
Holt.
Rice was never afraid. Yeah, Jerry Rice was never afraid to go over the middle.
Jerry Rice.
That's
Michael Irvin made his living on the Bang 8.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. And you know what? That's one thing you don't see in today's game, because we're so safety conscious, and I don't know if it's even that. I mean, but more recently, look at Caleb Williams' throw to DJ Moore the other week when we were watching the games, y'all. That was straight out an unalive in itself. Remember how you called it, Brandon?
Yeah, I mean, he threw him in danger. But
yeah. But you see the receivers, they're more worried about the hits that are coming instead of trying to catch the ball. And majority of the time, I mean, the Moore one is definitely he got put in a bad spot. But for the most part, a lot of these defensive players do back off a little bit when they're coming over the middle like that because they don't want to get a targeting penalty. And you see the receivers just afraid to catch the ball because they're afraid they're going to get hit. And I mean, the rules have made it where it's safer for them, but they're more afraid to do it now.
I'm yelling at the TV all the time that the DB needs to play the ball. I mean, they play the ball, they'd have interceptions. They're going in there for these hit sticks, and they're not even going in to wrap up. And that's what.
Yeah.
It's not only are you hurting the other players, but you're killing the game of football. Like, why are you not
most of the
getting
time,
your team out? Why are you not getting the pick and going the other way? What are you doing?
And we see it all the time, Brandon. When they go for that hit stick, who's the one that's usually getting hurt? It's the one that's trying to put the highlight hit on.
Yeah.
Not the ones that are wrapping up or.
I just don't understand that. I don't understand why you wouldn't play good, solid football, especially if you're in the NFL. Why would you not play good, solid football?
Here's a name
More
to
like
drop here.
football.
And I know, Brandon, you may not remember this, but I know Corey will. Corey, you remember Nick Bonacotti?
Yeah.
All right. His son, Mark, played at the Citadel.
Yep.
And he ended up being paralyzed from a hit he made because he lowered the helmet. I mean, and I brought that just to say this. We're doing a great job teaching these athletes to keep their head up and everything else to not get hurt. But ultimately, we're not teaching the quarterbacks to throw the receiver open anymore. Peyton Manning, Steve Young, and all these guys were great at throwing the receivers open.
There's a lot of fundamentals that have definitely been there's definitely been a lot of fundamentals that have been lost as the years have gone on. And, one of them is throwing a receiver open. Two is these defensive players not wrapping up. They just want to go for a big hit. And, you do see when guys are getting hurt with their necks and the injuries, is because they're going for these hit sticks and they're lowering their head. They're not looking where they're tackling and they're not wrapping up. They're just going for a hit. And fundamentals. You don't have the fundamentals, it's going to get you or somebody else hurt.
We don't have the gunslingers like we used to.
No.
Now kids want to be Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, right? Joe Burrow is one of the few pocket passers we have in the game left. I mean, Josh Allen will take off in a heartbeat. I guess you got Justin Herbert, Bo Nix. They're pretty solid. They'll take off on you a little bit. Baker Mayfield will stand in the pocket. But these guys want to be like Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and take off. We're seeing it at the high school level. We're seeing it at the college level, and then they're transferring that into the pros. I mean, everybody's really killing the quarterback spot, just being real.
Yeah. Because it's the new fad. Let's be a dual threat quarterback.
And I don't mind a quarterback that can run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody's covered downfield. You got 20 yards between you and the next defender. Take off. I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? But look to throw first.
Yeah.
If you got 20 yards and you need a first down, hey, I'm all about you taking them.
And that's why I've been saying the dual threat quarterback has been regressing the game because they're getting the happy feet in the pocket. They're not staying set. They're not looking to make the read. And then they're putting themselves in more harm than they are good. Do y'all agree with that or not really?
Yeah, I do. But, look at back at, like when Warren Moon and Randall Cunningham, yes, Cunningham did scramble, only if he had to. But Randall Cunningham and Warren Moon were two quarterbacks that were labeled as dual threats, but they weren't. They were actually pocket passers. They would run if they had to. Warren Moon threw for god-awful numbers. I mean, just awesome numbers, And he stood back there. But Josh Allen is a perfect example. He has a cannon of an arm, but he'll take off in a heartbeat and not slide. He'll take off and he wants to do the hit stick, but the offensive way. And that's not a quarterback. I mean, I don't know. He's a good quarterback. He has a good arm, but he just doesn't, he's too eager to take off.
Speaking of being eager to take off and everything, the Giants are starting Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is another one that is runs like Josh Allen, runs like he's Josh Allen and isn't big enough to be Josh Allen.
Yeah.
I'm a little nervous about him coming out there on Sunday and taking the big hits. Jackson
Reminds me of Robert Griffin.
Yeah. And
size-wise.
Yeah. I mean,
exactly.
Not skills-wise, but size-wise, yeah. And he's reckless. And you see guys like Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, and you're like, man, there's hope for the game. And then you see all these offensive coordinators, and you're like, maybe not.
Yeah. Kyler Murray, you know what? I understand he's short, but you know what? Tell me something. I don't go with the short I don't go with the short because I'm going to tell you, whether it's the NFL or the CFL, you can't tell me that Doug Flutie threw for all those yards and won all those MVPs in the CFL. It wasn't because he was running; he was passing at 5'8". Kyler Murray showed at Oklahoma he could pass, but all of a sudden he's in the pros and it's all about he's taken off. I mean, yeah, he doesn't have the weapons. I understand that, but he's not a big guy. Somebody's going to knock him out.
I'm not worried about Kyler. Kyler Murray has actually grown into his man body a little bit, and so I'm disappointed in Kyler Murray for a lot of things. He has not panned out the way I thought he would. I watched him very closely at Oklahoma. I'm a Texas fan, so we see them every year, and so Kyler Murray is just not translated in the NFL. You should have.
Is it the Lincoln Riley effect?
Maybe. Kyler Murray, Lincoln Riley inherited Kyler Murray and Baker. Yeah, I mean, he was there, but Stoops was there too.
Yeah, but I'm saying, the reason I say Kyler Murray is because if you look at it, Kyler Murray and Caleb Williams kind of remind me of the same people. Baker Mayfield is not. Baker Mayfield, before he went to Oklahoma, at Texas Tech, he was a gunslinger.
Yeah.
He started running more at Oklahoma, but he only ran when he had to.
Yeah. And, I mean, Baker is straight wheeled. If that makes any sense. Baker he's been the underdog. He has that chip. Baker straight I'm going to will it. Kyler Murray has had they put some things in his contract that aren't normally in people's contracts. They were very adamant about Kyler Murray learning the playbook and studying. And I mean, it kind of shows. It kind of shows, man, when he's his progressions, his reads, and everything. He's not.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a whole lot of tricks in his bag.
Well, and the other thing with Kyler Murray, real quick, is what we seem to forget is when Kyler Murray was at Oklahoma, it wasn't all about playing football. We remember he was in the minor leagues, playing baseball, while also being the starting quarterback for Oklahoma. So, he didn't put in the time that you would see normally a quarterback do because he was splitting his time playing pro baseball.
Yeah.
All right. Ultimately, the trade deadline is week 8, week 9, somewhere along in there. Is it time to move on from Kyler Murray? If so, where would you see him going to resurrect his career?
Why would they give up on him?
Yeah, I mean,
it's not like Kyler Murray doesn't have talent.
So The experiment's not working in Arizona.
but you can't move backwards.
It's and it's the coaching staff. You have a defensive minded coach coaching a quarterback that is a dual threat but can throw, that has won the Heisman. I mean, obviously he can play if he won the Heisman. He hasn't lost his talent. You know, get a coach that fits him.
I mean, his contract
You know,
is through 2028. So you could draft a quarterback this year or next year.
yeah. But it still gives him a couple of years, and that's the thing. We know Gannon's not going to last. Go get him an offensive-minded quarterback coach. Go get him Cliff Kingsbury. Somebody. Oh, I know. I just said that name because I'm just thinking of offensive-minded, and for some reason, the first one came up. But
they just moved off of him.
Go get him a Kevin O'Connell type.
Ben Johnson
somebody
type.
that can teach him how to be a quarterback.
Ben Johnson would be perfect.
Nah, Kyler's had enough time at this point. Like Kyler.
Yeah, but he really hasn't had. Besides James Conner, he really hasn't had the weapons that he had, like at Oklahoma and stuff. And that's, I mean, he's got Trey McBride now. If he could get Harrison to get his head on right, and Michael Wilson, I mean, he's got the people. I mean, I guess, he's had enough time. But I just think Arizona's ran like a Cleveland.
I mean, he got drafted in 2019. He was the number 1 overall pick in 19. So it's from 2020 until now. And we're in 2025. So this is his 5th year.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I mean,
it doesn't seem like it's that long.
It doesn't. So that's why I asked the question: is it time to move on from him, or is it really getting the right coach? Brandon, you're the coach. What do you think?
I mean, you got to get him the right coach. Obviously, this coach isn't good, but you got to hold Kyler Murray accountable as well. You get the new coach in, the new GM, whatever you do, whatever route you decide to go, and then you draft a quarterback. You draft a quarterback. You have him sit behind Kyler Murray. You have Kyler Murray play out his career, or you have this kid battle and beat him out. Yeah. You have somebody good behind Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's either going to fold or he's going to rise. You only have 2 options. So I can see Kyler Murray actually stepping up if he had a little competition behind him, but you're going to have to get some competition behind him.
And, that's something that the NFL varies very much so from the college game. Because if you watch the college coaches, they're not afraid to go get the next 5-star quarterback. But if you ever notice the NFL, they besides Green Bay's done it and they don't care. But usually you don't see teams going and getting a highly competitive backup quarterback to push their starting quarterback. And that's a problem because then your quarterback gets complacent. Because he's like, who's going to replace me? That bum behind me?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to another aspect of last night's game. How good was Sam Darnold?
Sam Darnold looked like he was in between the Jets Sam Darnold and the Vikings Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of makes sense when you're at a team like the Seahawks. You're kind of in between those 2 franchises.
Yeah.
Now Seahawks they are playoff contenders typically. You can't count them out in any season, but they're not. Other than when they had the Legion of Boom, they've not been a world beater.
Yeah.
And Sam played well enough to win last night. There was a lot of plays that I thought he left on the table.
The Seahawks, Sam Darnold, he's got the number 1 wide receivers, He's got a running back. He's got tight ends. They might not be Justin Jefferson. Okay, I understand that. but he's got the weapons still. It's not he doesn't have the Jets team for sure. So he this is his time to he's got to play consistent. He doesn't have to be a world beater. Just be the Sam Darnold he was that he was the number 3 draft pick. Why he was number 3 draft pick. Be that kind of Sam Darnold. Don't be the Panther Jet Sam Darnold. You've got your things, do your progressions, lean on your running game. And that's something they did last night. They leaned on their running game. Something that Arizona did not do.
I agree with that. I mean, I was impressed with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. They got a good
Charbonnet,
two-headed, They got a good two-headed monster behind Darnold.
And that's a lot of things, we forget when it comes to whether it be, you've said it so far in the college season, Bird, with Clemson. They don't have a running game. Their wide receivers aren't getting open. The quarterback can only do so much. And if their wide receivers are dropping balls and they're not handing the running back the ball, you're putting a lot of pressure on that quarterback to work miracles.
100%.
And there's not very many of them in the pro football that I would want to put all my eggs in a basket. There might be 5 in the NFL.
Derrick Henry is one. Saquon's one. Would you put Jonathan Taylor in that category?
Heck yes, I would. Jonathan Taylor, I'd put him right up there with Saquon and Henry.
All right, that's 3. Right there, we just named off the top of our head.
Yeah, and that's just 3 running backs that, you look at those teams. Besides Baltimore, because Henry has fumbled 3 straight games. Their running game, and then he only didn't run for very much. But you look at Daniel Jones and you look at Jalen Hurts, they benefit from that running game. So does the wide receivers that opens up the passing game. So teams are still forgetting that, you run the ball to open up the pass. It's not the other way around.
Or sometimes you have, I know it's not the other way around traditionally, but sometimes you have to pass to open the run too.
Sometimes you do, but that's,
That's an
most of the
anomaly,
time,
though.
if you look at that though, when you're making a quarterback pass to beat you, that if you're the team that has to throw the ball like that, that just goes to show you that the other team is not afraid of your quarterback or your receivers.
That's 100% true.
All
right.
And
2 more names I thought of, and I want to see where you put them in the top 3 we came off in that top 5. Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Are they that go-to?
together, yes. Together, yes, they are in there, but by themselves, not always. Because if they ran the ball as much as Saquon, Henry, or Taylor, I don't think maybe Montgomery might, but Gibbs isn't getting the yards that the other 3 are.
That's a fair point.
That was just, those two make each other. They make each other better for sure.
And I tell you what, having a 2-headed monster like that behind you makes you look a lot better than having one behind you, because if that one goes down, it's normally Nets man up, and you don't always see that Nets man up behind you.
Well, I'll tell you what. You look at like Carolina. Chuba Hubbard is a good running back, but people aren't afraid of the pass game. So Chuba's had a slow start this year.
Exactly.
Bo Nix has kind of had a slow start because they haven't really had a running game out there. This all goes hand in hand. Football hasn't changed. It's the mentality of these coordinators that think they're inventing the wheel again.
And ultimately, you know what's so funny? The Cowboys all off season you heard where's going to be the run game, where's going to be the run game, and Javonte Williams, from coming off that knee injury, has come in and solidified that run game for y'all.
And he has, and that that's what I'm saying is just these teams are another one is Chubb has done good, okay, and in Houston, but look how bad Houston's missing Tank Dell. I mean, just like I said, it goes hand in hand, and these coordinators are, like I say, trying to reinvent the wheel. You've got second or third down, and a yard to go for the first, and instead of, hey, let's run the ball, no, let's do a fancy play. Why would you do that? All you're trying to do is reinvent the wheel and come up with a spectacular play instead of just getting the first down and moving the chains.
And you know what that is, Corey? I think, and since the coach is here, I'll get his input on this. It's, we see so much on tape. They try to reinvent the tape to keep what teams guessing, and it doesn't always work.
I mean, no, it doesn't always work. I really don't like when we try to do too much, right? I'm not going to sit here and change up who I am and what I'm doing until you prove you can stop me. If you can stop me, then I've got to make an adjustment. Why am I making an adjustment beforehand? Why am I putting something out on film when I can run a 23 blast or a 23 counter or a 23 power or even a 24 going to the other side? Why do I need to get creative on the 1 yard line? First and goal on the 1. At this point, put your nuts on the table. Let's go. We're going to show that we are going to dominate that line, and we're going to get this 1 yard. It's time to go get it. Run a fullback. Put your receivers out. Make them get out of the box a little bit. At least have one receiver. You can have a bang eight. Do a quick read. Boom. RPO. There's so much that when you get on the 1 yard line, or let's say you get on the 5 yard line, there is so much that your playbook could open up to. You're in a small space. Why not utilize what little space you have?
Yep.
Why show my hand? If I run 2 to the left and 1 to the right, strong left. That'd be strong left because I got more receivers to the left hand side than the right hand.
Yep.
Okay. Let's say I'm running strong left and I want to run a counter to the right hand side. Why would I load my receivers next to my line and run my tight end and then have a receiver out there? Why would I have all that crammed? Why would I not spread them out? Right? Now I have 3 receivers, a fullback, and a running back. That's 5. Right? No tight end. I got my line. Right? We can run to the right hand side and I'll only have 7 in the box. 7 on 7, 7 on 8 is a whole lot easier than 11 on 7.
Yep. Go look at Seattle. You know what? Seattle being creative cost them a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Them being creative cost them a Super Bowl. You had one of the best power backs in the game. That game especially. You're a yard away, and instead of running him, you decide to throw the ball that close.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, everybody thought the game was over. There was no way Beast Mode would. They weren't even stopping Beast Mode. They could have loaded the box up, and they still weren't stopping Beast Mode. He was determined that day. That was
but there you go.
Russell Wilson that game over.
Yeah, that right there is your perfect thing of recreating the wheel. It's some coordinator thinking they're smarter than everybody else in doing that.
Yeah, it's bad.
So, all right. Did y'all want to get into this weekend finish off the weekend games for the NFL now, or y'all got something else to add to that?
No, I said all that game. Great win by the Seahawks. It was sloppy on both sides. The fourth quarter, especially for Seattle. Sam Darnold's got to be better. Kyler Murray has to be better. Receivers have to be better, and coordinators have to be better. I mean, coordinators have to be better all across the league. We're not
I
seeing
agree.
play on all three levels.
And special teams has to be better
Yeah.
as a whole. We're not seeing the great special teams like this year. We've harped on it a lot, but ultimately, hopefully by week, what are we going into here? Week 4? Hopefully by week 5, week 6, where people are getting really in game shape, you'll see it more. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, the sad part is game shape. What I've seen so far this year, besides the regular players, is when are we going to get kickers in shape? Because you know, just last night, it didn't cost the game, but you know what? They could have closed the game out. Where you know, even if Arizona came back and got a touchdown, which they did, they wouldn't have went down to the last second field goal again. But their kicker misses a field goal again. I mean, and even the game-winning field goal, we all sat there and was like, he's gonna miss this.
I mean,
You know, besides maybe Brandon Aubrey, and it's not because I'm a Cowboy fan, but there's probably 2, maybe 3 kickers out of 32 teams in the NFL that I would take this year. Otherwise, I'd probably run it all the time on 4th down.
yeah, that's one of the things I don't understand about special teams. Kickers have one job. I mean, you should be kicking field goals all day long. I mean, I don't understand that. You should have the most powerful kicking foot among anybody in the league. You're only competing with yourself. And we've seen kickers miss so much. It's kind of embarrassing.
It's not kind of embarrassing. It's very embarrassing.
One of the best. I hate being a Cowboys fan for that reason because it sounds like I'm just on the bandwagon. Brandon Aubrey is really good. Jake Elliott is another one for the Eagles that is lights out. Outside of that, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like it was. I mean, you look at it, you know, you'd had McManus when he was at Denver. You had Tucker at Baltimore. You know, you had all these kickers that with not only strong legs, but they were accurate. You know, and now the kicker's accurate if he misses 10 field goals a year. When was that ever acceptable? You
It
know, you
was.
don't. You know, Eddie Murray. He missed one field goal, he was ready to off himself. I mean, that's how they used to. Now they look at it, a kicker misses, and it's like, oh shucks, oh shucks.
I mean, I think you're being a little too hard on the kicker right now, but I do think that they need to be better. Like it for the special teams coordinator, dude. Your job's pretty simple. You teach coverage
I also
and you teach kicking. I don't. It's pretty simple.
I also think that the new kickoff rule, honestly, has had a negative effect on these kickers because now they're actually having to think on kickoffs, where before they really didn't think on kickoffs. They just went out and did it. I think now it's playing games with their minds, and when they get lined up to kick, you know, field goals or extra points, they've got more on their mind. Which, I mean, never been a kicker, so I can't say, you know, what it is, how it is, but I just think the new kickoff rule, has really affected the pro kickers.
And you know what else it's done for? And Brandon, and this is observation. I could be totally wrong. You know, you had guys like Devin Hester, these speed guys. You would want to kick it out of bounds and take a penalty to avoid the big return. And ultimately, it's taking the strategy out of the game as well, for that matter. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you can still
Yeah, the ball.
back. You can still get
Yeah.
out of the end zone, give them to the 30-yard line. That's what I don't understand. Why are we giving him more yards? I don't understand the touchback is you get it to the 30. What happened to the 20? Like, can we go back to that? Like,
Yeah.
make a team go 80 yards. I'm cool with that. But I also like the idea of seeing more returns. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see more returns. So that's why you pay Devin Hester the big money, so that he can be back there. You can see the return, and he can make lightning with it. One of the things that I've noticed this year for the Ravens, they don't have Devin Duvernay. It has hurt them in the special teams. Devin Duvernay is like that when it comes to special teams. He is not Devin Hester, but he's lightning in a bottle, and you know we want to see that. We as fans want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see that. I love watching Devin Hester return one. That he was so much fun to watch.
He was.
If you were smart, you didn't kick to Devin Hester.
No. And, the Cowboys, we got Turpin, but on the opposite side of that, everybody, I always hear people always ask, why is Dallas keeping Goodwin? Why? Because he's the one player that you can, he does the dirty work on the special teams. He guns, he's a gunner. He gets down there, he does the tackles and stuff like that. And, you need that on the opposite side as much as you need a returner on, receiving kickoffs. And we're not seeing that this year either. A lot of the defensive player, like a Goodwin for Dallas, you don't see too many of them.
What was the guy's name? Was it Larry Izzo or Zach Thomas? That
Yep.
was a special team person that.
Yes, Larry Izzo played for the Dolphins. Steve Tasker for the Bills years ago.
Yeah.
You don't see them players anymore.
You always had those guys.
But I think Turpin's probably the closest thing right now to a Devin Hester that the league's got right now. Like, is he as electric? No way in heck, obviously. But Turpin he's turned into a. So.
I like Turpin.
Right.
I'm going to disagree. I think Devin Duvernay is a better returner than Kevontae Turpin. I do like Kevontae Turpin.
Yeah, I could see it. Hey, people! When we're sitting here talking that, we need to tell people out there to listen. It's okay to disagree. We get on live all the time, and somebody doesn't agree with you, and it's all about let's cut the other person down. Hey, that's just what sports was invented for. We're not all going to root for the same thing, and we're not all going to say the same person is the greatest or the best. So, just a little heads up out there.
I agree. Hey, Brandon, before we move on to the picks, you want to give out the sponsors?
Oh yeah, today's episode is brought to you in part by Heaven Sent Helping Gear, hshbgear.com. Promo code BURIED, get you 15% off. W Energy, 10% off with promo code BURIED, wenergy.com. Stylesapparel.com, where we keep you in style, styles with a Z, and Liquid Nitro Energy Drink.
All right, thank you for that. I had forgot about that in the beginning. Hey, Corey, you still with us?
I am. I got off camera for a second. I'm having a coffee fit. Hold on,
right.
just like.
Any hot take you want to give us right now till we can get Corey back to pick the games?
No, I don't have any hot takes. No, in fact, actually, I'm going to be real. Last couple of days, I've not really been keeping up with anything. I watched a football game last night, but the last couple of days I've been relaxing. Watched a little bit of WNBA. I missed the Vegas game, but I watched the Fever, or I watched the Mercury and the Lynx game 2. That was a good game.
And they pick back up tonight.
Oh, I did watch that.
this
I
close
did watch
game.
that. They blew the Fever out. I lied.
Yeah,
I did watch the game.
we get game 3 tonight. I believe that it was travel day yesterday, so we'll be looking at that too tonight, along with college football. All right, well, Corey, you back and better than ever, man.
Oh, yeah, that we've all been sick lately and stuff, but you just get that cough going and you just can't quit.
I know the feeling.
Ah, yeah.
All right, so the first game tonight, well, and the 4 o'clock slate Sunday is the Colts and the Rams. Whoever wants to
I
go
actually have
first.
to go look.
So I really want to take the Colts in this game. I think they're for real. However, I think the Rams are going to play better than they did last week. I think it's going to be close. I think the Rams are going to squeak it out. I don't think Indianapolis
Go ahead, Rod.
is undefeated.
I'm sold on the Colts right now. I took the plus 3.5. Whether they win or lose, I think it's going to be that 3.5 spread. So I took the Colts.
I'm with you.
You tell me the numbers on the spread. I thought we were talking head up.
Oh no, it was 3.5. Go ahead and change your pick if you want.
Yeah, I'm not taking. I'll take the Colts at 3.5, but I'm not. I think the Rams win outright.
I apologize for that.
I agree with Brandon. I took the Colts because of 3.5. It is all out in Los Angeles though, and this is going to be. I know that Indy went to Tennessee, where they usually have a tough time and won, but I got the Colts to 3.5. But wouldn't be surprised if the Rams win it like on a last second field goal or something.
All right. So this is another 3.5 point spread. The Jaguars versus the 49ers.
This game I've had an issue with because the Niners just keep on chucking along without anybody on their team besides, Mac Jones and Christian McCaffrey. But they just keep on chugging, they keep on winning. And Jacksonville, I thought their offense would be a lot more high powered than it's been. But so I took San Francisco with the 3.5 because they're at home. So
we're looking at the Jaguar 49ers. It's a 3.5 point spread. Who you got, Brandon?
Man, I really want to take the Jags in this game because I'm rocking with the Jags to come out of that division. However, I don't think they're going to beat the Niners, especially at home. And so I think I got the Niners on this game.
me and you are the same there, Brandon, because we want to take it, but we're like, ugh.
Not so fast enough. Not so fast enough to run.
Go ahead.
I took Jacksonville. And reason being is that 3.5, the Jags have been playing better lately. I mean, they're 2-1. I mean, this would be and I know there's really no statement wins in the NFL like college, but this would be a stepping stone win for the rest of the season. So I'm not going to say they will win, but I expect them to cover that 3.5.
I don't mind that pick. I mean, I really want to take Jacksonville in that game. I think they're a better team. But the Niners are 3-0. Like it's not like they've been playing nobodies. They've been winning games. I just think the Niners are going to be too much for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I don't disagree, but I think it's going to come down to like a 3.5, 4 point win.
I can see that. I can see him covering.
So the next game, this is a who needs it more bowl. The Ravens or the Chiefs minus two, well, 2.5 is the spread.
This one has got me sitting here. Everything shouts that the Ravens should win this game by what we've seen, so far this year. Yeah, they're both 1-2, but the Ravens, their offense can score, blah, blah, blah. I'm not impressed with the anything on the Chiefs this year, defense, offense. But Chiefs are getting 2.5 at home, and I picked the Chiefs. I think it's now or never for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I just see the Ravens getting in their own way again. I think the Ravens are their biggest obstacle. And I don't know if it's with the coach. I don't know if it's with coordinators. I don't know if it's with GM. I don't know what it is. I don't know what their problem is. On paper, they're lightning. On the field, I don't know what they are.
They're grease.
But Derrick Henry, we've seen him fumble in big moments in fourth quarters, and we're not used to seeing him drop balls back to back. Something's wrong with the Ravens. And I think that something's wrong with the Chiefs, but I think the Chiefs are more close to the verge of figuring it out than I think the Ravens are.
This is going to be a makeup game for me. I took the Ravens. And here's why I took the Ravens. Derrick Henry. Better running situations than the Chiefs. It's better receivers right now. I mean, better defense.
I can tell you this: Derrick Henry's cost me 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, and I don't disagree. I don't disagree.
See, because of Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I had two guys that just needed to get 10 points under Jahmyr Gibbs. Two guys needed to make 10 points less than Jahmyr Gibbs and couldn't do it, both on the Ravens. Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry.
Yep.
No.
It's just something's not right this year. Brandon's right. And it's on both of these teams. And I could see it happen either way. I could see it either way, obviously. But I'm like him. Baltimore just can't seem to get out of their own way.
I'm sitting here, have some news on, and there was an interesting question that came up. If the Chiefs lose, or do you think their dynastic run will be over?
I don't think it'll be over.
Well,
I
don't think it's
Patriots did.
I don't think it's over, but here's the thing. Obviously, Travis Kelce's head's not in the game this year, right now. You lose one of your receivers you really counted on for 6 games right off the bat because, being suspended. Then the first game, you lose your other receiver that you brought in, you've had in Brown. The running game has not taken off anywhere.
Brown's been playing
for that team. Huh?
Brown's been playing. Xavier Worthy, they got hurt.
Or Xavier Worthy, sorry. But, you've got the running game is not there. This is things that can be fixed. And I think Kansas City is the type of team, if it gets fixed, they could go on a 10-game run.
We've not seen Kansas City at its full strength. And we've not got to see Kansas City at its full strength in years. Every time they've got a player out. It's always a receiver. It's Rashee Rice. It's Xavier Worthy. It's Hollywood Brown. It's somebody. And, the Travis Kelce thing, they got Noah Gray. I'm really not worried about Travis Kelce. You can put Noah Gray in there and plug and play. Travis has definitely lost a step or two. I mean, it's showing, and so I think the Kansas City Chiefs will rebound. And when we see them at their full strength, oh Lord, it's gonna be fun.
I agree with both of y'all. But moving on to the next game, the Bears, Corey's closet favorite team against the Raiders, 1.5-point spread.
Taking the Raiders in this game, I think the Cowboys game was a fluke. I don't think that Caleb Williams is really that All-Pro type caliber player. I don't even think he's a generational talent. I think he's just athletic.
Well, here's where I go. I got the Raiders winning this by the 1.5, and I got Max Crosby making Caleb Williams pee his pants. Because you know what? Something that the Raiders can do that the Cowboys didn't do is get pressure. And when we've seen when Caleb Williams gets pressured, he folds. So that's why I took the Raiders.
I'm torn between this game. I still go back on it because I want to say Caleb Williams is getting it together under Ben Johnson. But it's too early in the sample size to tell.
He had one good game,
Raiders,
really bad defense.
Raiders have a better defense overall.
We have to have the worst
And
defense right now.
And it's at home. I'm going to rock with y'all on the Raiders. Now, here we go. The moment everybody's been waiting for. It's the Green Bay and Dallas. The spread 6.5. Who do y'all have?
I've got Cowboys to outright win, and it's because of how bad we played against the Bears. It's Micah Parsons returning, and everybody's counting us out. We always pick up a game we shouldn't, and for some reason, this is the one I feel like it's going to be. Green Bay Packers have been a thorn in our side for a very, very long time. We just gave the best defensive player we had to the Green Bay Packers for hardly anything, and I just, for some reason, feel like Green Bay is just going to drop this one. Green Bay should absolutely annihilate the Cowboys.
I agree with you, Brandon. They should, but I took the Cowboys not to win, but I did take them to cover. Like you said, Dallas usually picks up a win what they shouldn't, and they usually lose a game they shouldn't. Well, we lost a game we shouldn't have last week. I would like to see the game we shouldn't win this week. I think, even with that horrible defense coordinator we have, I think our defense is going to try to show out. We're going to have Clowney. We're going to have Bland back. I hope we don't look as bad as we did last week. I got Dallas in the 6.5. I'm not going to say that they're going to win, but I say they cover.
Are you ready?
No, you're going with Green Bay. It's already been decided. You're not allowed to root for the Cowboys ever again.
Next game, we're going to the Dolphins and Jets.
Wait.
You don't get to pick the Cowboys. That's not happening.
You don't get to pick the Cowboys this year.
For the record, even if I were to go with the Cowboys, I did take Green Bay.
Yeah. It's just...
that was a no-brainer pick for me. Not because of y'all, but I just felt like Green Bay was the better team.
We should get
They are. They're...
this game. There is no doubt that we should get annihilated in this game.
Yeah.
I'm Dallas Magic. Dallas is gonna pull one out.
And for the record, and since we're doing video, for the record,
yeah, he picked him. Okay. I wanted to make sure of it.
It's my Cowboys.
I wanted that video.
I almost came on and said Cowboys.
All right, so let's talk about Pee Wee football real quick. I don't want to go through the undercards. Let's just go through the ones that we really want to talk about.
Well, we still have 2 more games on the pro schedule that we needed to pick real quick.
All right, what is it?
These are real quick ones, though. Dolphins and Jets. Dolphins favored by 2.5.
I'm gonna take the Jets.
I took the Dolphins.
I took the Jets. How are the? I got a question. How are the Dolphins favored in this game when they've looked so
Because
bad?
they're at home. And I think Tyrod Taylor's still the quarterback at Jets is why. And then the last game is the Bengals at the Broncos. Broncos are favored by 7.5. I took the Bengals.
I got the Bengals to cover.
To cover.
I think the Broncos win.
Yep.
I think the Bengals are in bad shape.
For that reason, I took the Broncos to outright win with the 7.5. I think they're going to win by more than 7.5.
All right. That was our picks. We've got them in. We've got them on video and audio. And Brandon's favorite time is the Pee Wee football, which is there's 2 games tonight, right? Or 3?
2 is Noah. Arizona State, TCU, and
Florida State
Florida
and Virginia.
State, Virginia.
You know what? For the college game, that actually those 2 games though, guys, that actually is 2 pretty good games for a Friday night.
It really is.
That actually is. And I think my personal opinion is on the second game, Arizona State misses Scattaboo a lot more than people think. And I really am high on the quarterback at TCU, Hoover. So I picked TCU to win that game. And as far as the other game goes, being a Hurricanes fan, I guess I'm going with Chief Wahoo because I'm going Virginia.
Wait. You threw me off. I thought you were going to. I was going to do the tomahawk chop for you.
Nope.
Florida State's going to win that game. It's not even going to be close.
I know, but I had to go that way. You know I had to go that way.
Florida State's going to win, and just for the record,
It's like you going. It's like you rooting for Oklahoma, Brandon.
No, I don't root for Oklahoma at all.
See, exactly.
What's the other Pee Wee team?
It's Florida State, Virginia, and then TCU, Arizona State.
Oh, TCU. I got TCU.
Yeah.
Arizona State or Iowa State. I got TCU and
Yeah.
Iowa State going to the Big 12 championship.
Yep, I was going to say that's who your team was.
TCU all the way. I'm sold on Hoover this year. He's looking like the best quarterback right now. He may not put up the stats always, but he looks like the most complete package.
And
I disagree.
before we get off here, though, we've got those 2 games. We've talked about them, blah, blah, blah. Now let's talk about something that matters tonight. Your Vegas. Game 3.
They're going to win tonight. At Indiana.
Like, all right.
At Indiana. That's okay.
So
What do you got in the other game?
Oh, I got the Lynx. The Lynx are going to blow the Mercury out. I'm glad they won one. Lynx are going to win the next.
Okay.
So now, let me ask you this: does the Aces Fever series go 5?
No, the series is going to go 5 for the Aces. And I'm really nervous. I have the series going 7 with the Aces and the Lynx, but I'm really nervous about that one. I wouldn't be surprised if that ended at 5 or 6.
I have to agree with you. I see the Aces winning, but I see that going 5. And it goes back to the team ball that Indiana has been playing. I mean, Aces do too. The Aces can play team ball. But, I see the Aces going to the finals, and I had the Lynx and the Aces in the finals. But Again, I got to rock with Asia Wilson.
I just don't see
I
three
think,
straight back to back to back.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
hard. Back to
yeah.
back you can do, and then lose one, take it home, win in five. I'm cool, but
hypo, give me a hypothetical moment here. Hypothetically, if the Fever beats the Aces in the series, do they? How would they match up with the Lynx? You think, or
I
either
think
team? You think?
I think the Lynx sweep them. There's only one team I think that can hang with the Lynx right now, and that's 100% the Aces. That's the only team I believe in. I thought maybe New York, but they couldn't get past the Mercury. Um, the Fever are playing some
You're right.
really good team ball. I don't want to take anything away from the Fever. I just think they're outmatched.
I'd agree with that. I mean, and the thing is, I mean, it would be a cool story, seeing the Fever make it to the title game, but that wouldn't be a good thing for the WNBA brand because you know I want to see the two best players in the league play against each other in the finals. It's like a bird and magic because you got Collier for the Lynx and you got Asia Wilson for the Vegas, and I want to see those two in the finals against each other.
Yeah, that Collier.
That would be a good final.
I've been real impressed with the Lynx all around. I've watched all of their games this postseason, and they are just dominant. I couldn't even believe the Mercury came back on them. I can't believe they let them come back on them. I really thought they were going to get swept. So
So
it was shocking to me.
yeah, it's going to be interesting how the finals breaks down once we get to the finals. We'll have to break it down with the stats once it starts, before it starts. Once it's set, is what I'm saying.
When we get in the finals, I'm not gonna lie though, football's gonna be put aside for a second. I mean, it's not gonna be completely put aside, but it's gonna be on the background. I want to see this whole series. This, like after watching the WNBA as much as I've been watching it this year, dude, it is such a much better brand of basketball than the NBA.
And you know what? I haven't. I want to get back into the NBA, but you know what? Honestly, Brandon, the I'm not saying the level of talent's changed, but the way they play the game has changed so much. It's hard for me to get back into it.
It is not what it used to be. I will say that. I miss the Jordan, the Kobe's, the Kevin Garnett's, the Tracy McGrady's. I miss the Vince Carter's,
Amari Stoudemire,
Amari Stoudemire, uh, the Ginobili's, the Tim Duncans.
Tony
Like
Tony
that
Parker.
era of basketball. I do. I like what Steph Curry has done, and the threes that we're seeing. What I don't like is the lack of defense. What I don't like is watching Jalen Brunson dribble for 20 out of the 24-second shot clock. What I don't like is watching Jason Tatum shoot shot after shot when he's cold. It's the team aspect of the game has gone completely away. And so we're watching the John Morant's take the Grizzlies. We're watching the Jalen Brunson's carry the Knicks. We're watching, and that's cool, but that's not what's getting people to the finals. Who did we see in the finals this year? We saw the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. Guess what they do? They play a better team. They play a better brand of team basketball all around than anybody else in the league. Look where they were at. And it goes to show you that the best team ball is going to win. That's why the Fever are hanging with the Aces. I don't think that the Fever could hang with the Leaks. That doesn't mean that they can't do it. With the right team basketball,
Yeah.
the right mindset, you can accomplish anything. You can take down giants.
Yeah.
But are they going to be able to maintain that success? And when they get up, are they going to be able to hold that and keep that mentality? That's where.
And then are they going to be able to do it over 4 games?
Yeah.
That's where it's going to be difficult.
You know. So sorry about that, guys. I
You tend to
had a
get
phone
excited.
call.
When you're excited, you tend to overshoot. When you tend to overshoot, you tend to create bad plays, and it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. You're right. So, what else is going on? Obviously, we're not on here tomorrow. We are back on Sunday. Do we have any good plans for the weekend?
We will be live
I'm a,
on TikTok streaming the games. Texas is playing Florida. I've got that one. Bird's got all the other ones. I don't know.
Okay.
Whichever one you want, Corey.
No, I was just saying, do you guys got any other plans besides sports this weekend? I know me and Brandon have taken a couple days here before ourselves for some mental health, just the relaxation, family time, TV time besides sports.
No, my wife works all week.
So,
The kids will be running wild, and it'll just be me and Derek for the most part.
that's my buddy, Derek.
So I've got.
I like it. We should put him instead of Rod in here.
If he would.
There's the face.
There's the face.
you know what?
There's the face.
We should replace you with Derek. He might be more intelligent.
Well, we know that. Come on.
I at least am a semi-pro at talking.
Semi. You got the semi right. That forehead,
Hey.
semi. So, you know it, Bert. I love you.
I love you too.
So,
I don't know why I came in your live that day because you've been nothing but grief to my heart, man. I love you too.
yeah. So you got to do that. I got to give somebody grief. I can't give it to my wife. If I give it to my wife, she beats me up.
Well, someone needs to. Why not?
I don't know. The doctors have been the nurses have been doing a good enough job at that. Putting IVs and stuff in when they, and drawing blood and stuff. They got to quit doing that. I'm looking like a pincushion.
Well, you already looked like that before you had your shots.
Well, yeah, So, but this should be a good weekend. I mean, I think we'll have a good weekend as long as all I care about this weekend again is, like I said, we tried to say it yesterday, Brandon. We just want to see some good games.
Yeah, I'm excited about the game this weekend between Texas and Florida. I don't think Florida's that great, but I'm so tired of playing these little high schools.
I understand.
Here's the thing about the Longhorns, and I know this is a homer take, but it's not a homer take. We have not put out the film this year that we put out last year. The O-line and the receivers are exactly where I was concerned, and that's exactly where our problems lie. What I haven't seen is Steve Sarkisian be the offensive coordinator that I said he was. And open that playbook up, get Arch some looks. And I think Florida is going to be a big test of what we really have. I think our DBs are great. I think our defensive weapons are fine. I think our offensive weapons are going to have to hold in the trenches and are going to have to keep Arch apart. And Florida is pretty good in the trenches, whether they've shown it or not. They have talent there. They can be aggressive in the trenches. And so I cannot wait to see that game, and I cannot wait to see this Alabama-Georgia game.
The one game I can't wait to see on Saturday, and y'all can laugh at me. I want to see, being from Illinois and always dishing on Illinois stuff, I want to see how Illinois comes back and responds against USC after the debacle last week against Indiana. I think that'll say a lot about Illinois' resolve and what kind of team they actually are. Because if they come out and just, let another stinker off than they are who I thought they were. But if they come out and even if they don't win, if they keep that game close, then they are going in the right direction.
I cannot root for stinking Lincoln. I will not root for the Dolphins. I need Illinois to get right.
Yeah.
Hey.
Talking about little teams, is Death Valley Junior off this week, or do they play?
They're off this week, thank the Lord. That means they can't even beat themselves this week.
That's good.
I wouldn't put that past you.
To reevaluate some things.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, real quick. Corey and Brandon. Brandon, you and I are tied for second in our Pick'em League against the spread in second place. Same as that record, 27-22.
Not bad.
Corey,
Yeah, I'm bringing up the rear.
you're fifth at 22-27. We got 5 games on Corey, Brandon.
Does that surprise you?
Listen, dude. I'm more worried about the 3 games I'm behind Chris.
I am too.
So,
But I'm just saying at least 2 of us have
A winning
More-
record?
more sense than 1 combined.
Rod, I would not put you in common sense. You and common sense don't even go hand in hand.
Just like I tried to tell my wife I'm innocent. She goes, "There's not innocent bone in your body."
Yeah.
I'm doing great.
So,
I'm doing a lot better in college football.
I'm having a tough year all the way around. So, and I think I'm picking more with my heart this year than I am with my brain. And I got to get back to the picking with my brain and not my heart. So,
I've got winning records. That's all I care about right now.
I mean, I'm even doing horrible in my fantasy league. I started off 0-3.
Now that
I just not winning at all.
like, I'm looking like the Cowboys, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah. I'm looking like the Cowboys defense
CD
because I'm not losing. I'm getting spanked.
Lamb hurt me this week. Having 0 points with CD Lamb, that was devastating.
Yeah, it's just been, it's been a rough start for me. But hey, it is what it is. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still having fun. I still get to pick on the, 7 head over here.
I thought for sure Derrick Henry and Zay Flowers was going to get more points than Jahmyr Gibbs, or at least 9, or at least not get beat by more than 9. Seeing that was devastating the next morning.
Yeah. It has been that one. It's been that, like I said, it's been that kind of year. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully, Brandon, when we come back on Sunday, hopefully your Astros are at least tied going into Sunday for that last playoff spot.
I'm hoping they get it figured out because with the Mets beat the Cubs again, and I've seen that my Astros lost.
Yeah, yep, you're right. And then that's pretty much. I mean, that's coming down to between the Mets and Cincinnati in the National League, and in the American League, it's Detroit or Houston gets that last spot.
I need Detroit. That's my World Series prediction.
Did Boston ever figure it out? Are they still in it? They were losing too.
They're still in it right now. They could actually they have to lose outright pretty much this weekend, but that could happen. But if they lost out and Houston and Detroit went out, then them two would get in. But right now, as of right now, it's between Houston and Detroit for that last spot, and then it's the Mets and the Reds for the last spot in the National League.
But right now, in the American League, Seattle's looking like a team to be reckoned with for sure.
We've seen that a lot, though, Rodney. But like me and Brandon have always said, these wild card teams get hot at the right time, and you look at how often you see a wild card team make it to the World Series because they get hot at that right time.
Bird, you need to just go ahead and get your Cal Raleigh jersey. I get it. No, I get
You
it.
know what?
Like him, he's a good player.
Did he go to Clemson?
No, he didn't go to Clemson.
I like it. I mean, he's a
No,
good player. I'm not trying to take anything away from what he's accomplished. He's done great. Uh,
but for a catcher, that's my point. You don't see
You
it.
got a point.
You don't see it from a catcher
No,
a lot.
oh, okay. I'll rest my case.
Seattle. The only thing is if we look at Seattle, look at Seattle's team as like the home, because they've hit like the most home runs in the league. Unfortunately, when it gets to the playoffs, that's not what you see winning the titles. Is the teams that have all the home run power. You see the teams like, even with the Yankees when they were winning, it was the Jeters, it was the Tino Martinez, it was the Scott Brocious, players that
The Jim Leyritz.
So
Jim Leyritz killed my Braves a couple years.
yeah, I mean, so
I don't know.
that's what you were seeing.
I just thought about the Diamondbacks having like 24 hits or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at the power teams, yeah, they make it to the playoffs, but then they get cold. So,
And you
but
know
it should
what?
be a good weekend.
To your point,
I mean, he's getting 2 out of 10 times. I mean, that's nothing to write
to
home.
your,
Yeah, exactly.
I agree, but I'm saying for a catcher, 60 home runs and all of this, it's something we don't often see. That's why I said,
Hey, it goes back to the thing though, Bird. We're always talking about it in every other sport. It's fundamentals over excitement. The excitement over the fundamentals.
All I'm saying,
We're getting excited,
Piazza was a way better hitter.
huh?
Mike Piazza was a way better hitter.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. Piazza hit almost 300 every year.
I don't disagree with that, but I mean, for a long time, we haven't seen this kind of power from a catcher. That's all I'm saying.
Well, no, you're right. You're right. But I mean, we have seen this power from. Actually, you're forgetting something. We have actually seen it from a catcher, but he doesn't catch anymore. Schwarber was a catcher, and that Cal Riley reminds me a lot of Kyle Schwarber. Is they both can hit that ball a ton, but
I
they
don't
can't
know.
sniff 300.
Machado.
Here's the case again for the record. I didn't know Schwarber was a catcher.
Yes, when he was drafted by the Cubs, he from Indiana. He was a catcher. He caught when he came up was coming up, but when he was coming up with the Cubs, that's when they had Contreras, so they moved positions,
All right.
and pretty much he's the DH now because he's not that good of an outfielder either. So he hits homers, he hits dingers. That pretty much is that one kid said, "I hit dingers," because I think this might be his highest average. He might hit over 250 this year.
But to your point about the playoffs, real quick before we get out of here, I was going to say, look at how many times Barry Bonds went cold in the playoffs from power. So you have
One of the
great
greatest
point.
hitters. One of the greatest hitters of all time would go cold, I mean,
See it every post.
at that wrong time.
I mean, you're gonna see that every postseason. What teams
Yeah.
go cold?
But as I always bring up though, is and I hate doing this because I'm not a Yankee fan, but Brandon's favorite player, Derek Jeter, obviously was never a big home run hitter, but he always came up with the clutch hit in the postseason. He always had a decent average in the postseason. You look at him when they got Alex Rodriguez. Alex Rodriguez got all that money, and it was still Jeter doing the hitting because Alex Rodriguez would fold in the playoffs. He had 1 year of playoff where he did good. Jeter, you can't say that. Jeter never had an off year when it came to the playoffs.
No,
Some people just know how to rise.
Jeter was clutch.
Yeah.
You was.
And that's the thing. You see that, you look at these teams, Luis Gonzalez for Arizona when they won, Edgar Renteria when Miami won. It's just these players you see that you're not, whoa, wait a minute, So
If my Detroit Padres doesn't happen for the World Series, I tell you what, I would not mind Seattle getting there. because they have never been there. Am I not right?
Seattle,
I don't think they have been losers.
Seattle's not going.
Milwaukee, I say, I out of the National League, I would like to see Milwaukee. San Diego and the Dodgers are built better to do that, but I think Milwaukee would be the better team.
I think
Milwaukee and
team in baseball right now.
Yeah,
Milwaukee and
they're just
Seattle
doing
would
everything
be
right.
Milwaukee and Seattle would be entertaining though.
I would like it to be Milwaukee and the Astros.
Milwaukee and Seattle would be completely ass backwards, because you got Seattle with all the power and Milwaukee with all the fundamentals. And I think that would be a game. I could see that going fours. That could be a sweep, because good pitching is going to stop good hitting most 90% of the time. And when you have players that hit for power but can't hit for average,
The Astros just need to pony up and go get Paul Skeens.
Not so fast. I want him on my Braves.
No,
You
Nobody
gotta get in
I think
line.
everybody wants him.
nobody
You
wants.
gotta get in line.
Well, the sad part, unfortunately, guys, is he's still under team control for at least 3 more years.
I would
before-
give up Acuna and
There's something
Albies. I would give up Acuna and Albies right now.
so that he could go. So okay, you give up those 2 players to go get Skeens,
It's not just you.
and you still wouldn't win.
He don't want to go to Atlanta.
I know, but I'm just saying, you give up Acuna and Albies for Paul Skeens, he might as well stay in Pittsburgh, because he'd be going to the same kind of team.
No, we got a lot more options to bring up.
No, you don't.
Again, he would still be playing in Pittsburgh.
Are y'all even sniffing the postseason?
They're not even sniffing sniffing the scratch and sniffs.
You're not even sniffing the butts of the people going into the postseason. Y'all are so far bad.
But
No, straight homer take. I'm not letting it happen on this show. All right, man.
hey,
Yeah.
This episode was brought to you by Heaven Sent Hellbent Gear. Get your hshbgear.com. 15% off promo code MARRIED. W Energy, DUBBY Energy.com. 10% off promo code MARRIED. Styles, apparel, and liquid nitro.
See ya.
the